Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Hilltop Spiritual Center on location because of the big game. So we have a lot going on today. I'm very excited. We have Daring Greatly in the house. We have Andrea Matros as our practitioner today, giving a beautiful reading by Rolf Sovic. We have our music director, Lee Culture, in the house as well. So make yourself comfortable, settle in, and let's celebrate together.
If you knew the you that you don't know, you'd love yourself from head to toe. You'd never be this sad or low. If you knew the you that you don't know, if you saw the you that you don't see, you would feel so differently. You'd be as happy as can be if you saw the you that you don't see. You say, what a human, what a friend, what a model citizen. You know why the people love you so. If you knew the you that you don't know. If you heard the you that you don't hear, all the doubt would disappear. 'Cause you're so charming and sincere. Yeah, the you that you don't hear. What a human, what a friend, what a model citizen. You know why the people love you so. If you knew the you that you don't know. You may not see it for yourself. It's just everybody else. When the earth is old and cold and gray, and we're out beyond the Milky Way, who shall lead humanity? Well, I'd send the you that you don't see. They'd say, what a human, what a friend, what a model citizen. You know why the people love you so. If you knew the you that you don't know. Just how the people love you so, yeah. If you knew the you that you don't know. If you knew the you that you don't know. If you knew the you that you don't know.
Dear friends, welcome. And thank you so much for joining us. We are so delighted that we have captured your attention and lit up an inspiration within inside of you to say, yes, yes, let us sit together in this virtual celebration and know that we are not alone no matter where we are. So I know that this service is a blessing, and all that is here and now. A well-being of wealth and goodness and beauty. So may you be inspired, for we join together in consciousness to be lifted up, to be moved to love, to have a spirit of joy and celebration. And that is what this is. It has already begun, this fabulous service, and it is continuing now. With the guidance, with the spiritual direction, with the beautiful teachings and music, I am so delighted and uplifted for the spirit that is here, for the goodness that is here, for all the love that it is. And so I call it forth into being, naming it so, and so it is. Today's reading is by Rolf Sovik. Giving, receiving, sharing, and uniting are love's way. They are the blossoms that bloom wherever love grows. Create an intention that for the next 3 minutes, you will be drawn into your heart. Center your awareness in your spiritual heart, located in the center of your chest. Connect with the rhythm of your heartbeat. To help this awareness, breathe in deep and exhale slow for 3 breaths. Breathe in deep and exhale slow. Keeping the awareness of your heartbeat. As you're inhaling, visualize a bright, warm, harmonious light deep inside your being, shining forth from the center of your chest. As you are ready to exhale, feel this light carry divine love, peace, and harmony throughout your body. With each inhale, imagine the light intensifying and growing all around you. Perhaps it has color and movement. And on your exhale, let the peaceful feelings grow within you as your body releases and relaxes. Releasing and relaxing, I am centered within. My heart draws me to it. This loving radiance of light draws me within. I breathe. I allow my body to release, to relax, and to let go. For the heart center is the seat of the soul, where harmonious union with the world resides. Unlocking that energy, you receive and recognize the singularity of existence and foster a divine love within you for yourself and all of creation. Invite this love to be with you in and through word, actions, and thought throughout this day. This divine love is with me. It calls me forth within. And so it is.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Sunday celebration. I want to thank Daring Greatly for their wonderful song and for that beautiful meditation that was led by our practitioner, Andrea Matros. And I just want to reflect again on that beautiful reading. As Rolf Sovik writes, giving, receiving, sharing, and uniting are love's way. They are blossoms that bloom wherever love grows. And so this month we are embarking on the path of love. And we're sort of following an annual theme that we began last September. So we're sort of halfway through this. We began in September, which to me always feels like a really good time for beginnings. And we started with this annual theme, we make the path by walking. And you know, we began that because of all the events that are kind of going on. And in many ways, because of the disorientation, we're on an interesting path. It's not like a standard path like Merriam-Webster says, a track specially constructed for a particular use, a way of life, conduct, or thought. We're in this uncharted time where we're actually developing this path, this track, this way of life by listening, by amazement, by awe, by wonder, by questioning. You know, it's been an interesting time for all of us, and in the motion as we invent, you know, we're going through a lot of things, but what has been important for us is it's called us all to be agile, to be novel, to be forgiving, to be innovative, to be teachable. You get that? Are you discovering that for your own self right now? Because sometimes the signposts that we've used before just aren't available to us now. You know, I marvel at this thought that God is always creating new. And even in the apparent chaos, even in the sense of disorder, there's always an opportunity to reorder, to reorganize, to follow this path, this way of life to the highest good that brings us joy, that allows us to live in an experience of support, of love, of connection, that is bringing out or inviting in the highest and most beautiful and judicious aspects of every one of us. And I know it's been challenging. It's been challenging for all of us because it's, you know, it's involving letting go of things, right? You know, and some of these things that we feel that we just couldn't let go of. But then if we pause, maybe we can see that the letting go, the grief, is opening up new possibilities for us. And so I want to say to each and every one of you, you are so remarkably courageous to be on this path. Whether you have chosen it or not, you've chosen to stay on it. You know, I'm a big fan of Lord of the Rings. And you know, it's how Tolkien begins both The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings is a sense of beginning on an adventure that we are ill-equipped for. But along the way, we learn. We are learning as a community. We are learning as a nation. We are learning as our personal tribes, our families. We are learning. And where this juncture is bringing us, what I would like to share is, you know, this month is often, February is often considered the love month. I guess it's because of Valentine's Day. But I think of it a little bit differently when I think of where it is seasonally in the year, you know, in the times, the seasons, the years and cycles that define the level of time that each and every one of us is traveling. And so there's something really appropriate about Valentine's Day being placed here. I think is more appropriate to say that we organize everything else around it, because it really is our destiny, if you would, to, first of all, awaken to the sense of global consciousness. But what global consciousness invites us to do is to always respond in love. So, you know, although this is the path of love, you know, last month was the path of the imagination, and we've had the path of courage and the path of prosperity. And it's not like, you know, we do one and drop it and then go on to the other, because I think what we discover is this, is if we pay attention to it, you know, that how we do anything is how we do everything. And that everything is interconnected to everything else. You know, it's like the story of Indra's many-jeweled net. You know, Indra is a great Hindu deva, and it is said that on his on his house, or in the patio of his house in Mount Meru, there hangs his many-jeweled net. And the net is as large as the universe itself. It is an eternal net. It is vast in its proportions. And that at every knot in the net, there is a jewel. And each jewel reflects each and every other jewel within the net. This is something that quantum physics are playing with right now. This is an ancient mythology that is explaining a truth that we know at the imaginal level, at the intuitive level. I was reading something the other day that was talking about Einstein, and Einstein says that he was much more comfortable in intuition and imagination than he was with facts. He says, because, facts are limited, but the imagination is unlimited. And that he knew before the theory of relativity was proved, he knew it at an intuitive level. And it was just confirming what he already understood. And so, that's kind of where we are when we just look at these different aspects, whether it's the path of love, the path of creativity, the path of the imagination. If we understand one, we realize that they're all incorporated, because, the reality is we're not compartmentalized. Sometimes our mind works that way, but we are not that. We are a living, breathing, holistic experience that is in a living, breathing, holistic experience called life itself, and we participate in it. And the very force of this universe, the very power that drives this universe, is the power of love. And so I kind of want to talk a little bit about some ideas as we're kind of getting into this. And the first is this: is for love to exist, there must be freedom. Because love must be free, or it's not love, it's being captive, right? And this is true whether we're in a healthy relationship, that in a relationship with another, that relationship is free. If it is bound by something, it's not really love, it's more of a toxic mimic. This is even true with the divine itself. How it expresses itself is that this divine presence, this intelligence, allows freedom, allows evolution, allows a certain degree of randomness. We cannot say that we live in a predetermined universe, because that would be contradictory to the very nature of the divine itself, to this great artificer of the universe, which is creating in love, is creating in freedom. And the second thing that I want to offer is this, is that, what love does is it calls us as to what we are here to do. Thomas Merton says this: our job is to love others without stopping to inquire whether or not they are worthy. That is not our business. And in fact, it's nobody's business. What we are asked to do is to love, and this love itself will render both ourselves and our neighbors worthy. Then the third thing I'd invite you to consider is this. It's the very force of the universe, which is freedom. It is kind of what we've all been come to do, which is to awaken to global consciousness, which is to become more loving. And the third thing is to own we are social creatures by nature. This is how we are hardwired. Even if you look at all the mystical traditions and all the religions and philosophies, it's not about us as a single entity. It is about us as being something that is greater than ourself. And it's in many ways our destiny. Like Thomas Merton says, again, he says, love is our true destiny. We do not find the meaning of life by ourselves alone. We find it in the other. And so that's where we're going here, is to find love in the other. And we do that by finding love within ourselves. You can't love another until you love yourself. And you really can't love yourself until you've experienced the love of the other. So it's allowing ourselves to be in this experience. You know, as many of you guys know, or if you've heard any one of my talks, I often refer to one of my spiritual heroes, a man by the name of Pierre Teilhard de Chardin. Something that Teilhard wrote often is this. He says, when humanity discovers love, we will have discovered fire for the second time. And I love that image because, you know, let's think about that. You know, those eons ago when our earliest ancestors discovered fire, it changed everything. What anthropologists work with is that the discovery of fire and the discovery of language seem to be intertwined. We don't know which one came first, but they seem to have become very closely related. And it was an exponential move in our evolution. Think about this. With fire, people were able to gather in the cold and in the dark. And they were able to tell stories and to learn and to share information. With fire, they were able to keep warm and build tools. We could say that the discovery of fire continues to play itself out over and over and over again, and that at every juncture of our evolution and every innovation that we have discovered or developed, behind this is language and fire. It's that important. You know, and in many ways, sadly, we are living in a planet that is now living at the results of how that fire has in many ways gotten out of control, the conflagrations of environmental devastation, of other activities that are going on. And so it really is about rediscovering fire for a second time, another evolutionary jump. Just imagine, if you would, if the power of love was the guiding principle of every action in your life, and that the power of love was the deciding factor in how you organized your time, your resources, your relationships. And imagine if that was true in your family or your tribe. Imagine a nation that defined itself on how it loved each other and cared for each other and cared for and loved its land. Imagine a species that was committed to loving the planet and every and all inhabitant therein. It would be a revolutionary event of the magnitude of fire itself. In many ways, it would be greater because it would begin to take us to new levels that heretofore we can't see or understand because we don't have that imagination. We're too ingrained in fear, in distrust, in lack. And love heals those things. You know, I often think of what this love is like because it's so easy to over-sentimentalize love, like it's even just a feeling itself. Richard Moss, in the introduction to the book, Awakening to the Power of Love, says this: all of us know something of love. We fall in love, love our children, love those who love us, fall out of love, and from our emotional emptiness, yearn for it obsessively. Few of us know what it means to be claimed by love. Not claimed in an obsession with another, but claimed as in taken hold of, shaken, brought to our knees in awe and gratitude, and eventually strengthened. This love is fire. So the path of love is the path of fire. And so, you know, let's just meditate, if we can, for a moment on the full text that was written in the 30s of Teilhard's idea about love and fire. And he writes this, and he was writing this, I think, from the steppes of China. Someday, after mastering the winds, the waves, the tides, and gravity, we shall harness for God the energies of love, and then, for a second time in the history of the world, humanity will have discovered fire. I just love that idea. So, as we go on this month, we're going to ask the question, how? Because as I've said before, what we're talking about is not a feeling. It's a power. And I think everything about the spiritual path is how we manage our personal power. One of the things that mystical traditions and sacred fraternities understood is how to work with power. Albert Pike, one of the great thinkers and a member of a very mystical fraternal order, says this about being human. There is nothing to do with humans but to love them, to admire their virtues and have compassion and bear with their faults and forgive their injuries. To hate your adversary will not help you. To kill them will help you still less. Nothing within the compass of the universe will help you but to have compassion, forgive, and love. To have compassion, to forgive, and love. And because love is free, and each and every one of us is a unique and an original idea, as Teilhard says again, as our evolution become intentional, each of us has our own flavor and our own way. And one of the things that I'm excited to explore this whole month are the ways that we love. In fact, if you receive our newsletter, or if you see here on our broadcast or go to our website, there's a link that will take you to a test in which you can look at what way or how you love. Or another way of saying it is, there are 5 love languages that seem to be within the parameters that we all operate of. And not only is it really helpful to know what your love language is, but it's really helpful to know what the love languages are of those whom you love and receive love from. I think sometimes what happens is we get confused because we think we're demonstrating love, but the person on the receiving love, because they have a different love language, is not experiencing it that way. They're not interpreting it that way. They're not feeling that they're being loved. Or it may be that the people that we receive love from, we may feel that we're not getting it because they may not understand. So according to this test, and what we will be talking about this month, is that there are 5 languages of love. The first is words of affirmation. And then there's quality time. Next is receiving gifts. Others are acts of service or physical touch. Words of affirmations. That's that sense where we speak, where we say something that is encouraging, that is loving, that is validating the other person. The other one is quality time, that we really carve out time to spend, to be in that experience and be in that presence of the one that we love. Or practicing generosity by giving and receiving gifts. Not huge things, but to say, I love you, with a flower, a poem, making dinner, bringing in the trash cans, whatever that may be. Acts of service. Sometimes what some of us need is a break. Is someone to say, here, let me help you do that. Or it looks like you need something. And then finally, we are We are creatures that are designed by touch. We thrive by touch. And so it's important that we touch, that we caress, that we have physical contact. You know, all of us do all 5 of them, but it seems that one is probably more predominant than the others. So I invite you to join us this month. Take the test. Let us know. I would love to know what sort of the prevailing languages of loves are in this community. I'd be very, very curious about that. And so let's just pause for a moment and breathe. When we breathe, we can find our way back into our body. When we find our way back into our body, we find our place in the universe. So breathing into this moment, we pause and give thanks. We give thanks for the beauty of the day, that we are alive and cognizant, that through this remarkable technology, through time and space, we join. We breathe, resting in the experience of knowing in this moment, there's nothing that we need. And we can expand that into the next moment and into the next moment, recognizing that we are part of this amazing experience of life. And for the privilege of that, we are grateful. And so we bless this time. We reflect that we are an activity of spirit. And as an activity of spirit, we are the experience of love. And so we let it be. And so it is.
Try my best to improvise and take it all in as it comes. Can't let the little things linger in your mind, no, no. Not gonna waste any more of my time. Here for this moment, can't let it slip away. Don't stop worrying about all the things I can't change. Breathe every breath, it'll never be too late. Find your serenity. The sun is shining on my face, breathing in the wide open air. I ain't got no right to complain. We all heard our fair share. Oh, no, no, no. Here for this moment, can't let it slip away. Gonna stop worrying about all the things I can't change. Breathe every breath, it'll never be too late. Find your serenity. Find
Once again, thank you for being part of our Sunday celebration and being part of the Hilltop Spiritual Center. We're just so grateful that you make the time to spend with us in this virtual world. I want to let you guys know that we are working diligently to open our center, hopefully in March. If not March, our goal is Easter Sunday. We're just going to see how things work out, but we're on it. We just miss you so much. And we will still continue the virtual. And we're doing all of that because of this partnership that we've created. So I want to thank you about that. And please look out to our website where you can see ways to get spiritual support from our practitioner, of classes that are organizing and growing, and all the other activities that are there. There's also a library of prayers, meditations, readings, and talks. It's all there for you. So once again, thank you for your continual and generous support.